Oh, here we are then.
My lord, it's freezing.
No, this is going out on the 13th, 12th of February. Hello, everybody. By the way,
Hello,
I'm Richard Knight.
hello.
He's
Good
Ryan
afternoon.
Huxtable.
Yes.
It's lovely to see you on our little chat. But we're in the middle of the beast from the east, and blimey, it's a tad chilly, as they say round my parts.
Well, I hope your parts aren't chilly, but all right. All I'm going to say is we live in the subtropical southwest, and it's like living in the Arctic. My goodness me, I'm sat here in a hoodie next to the radiator. Can you
That's
believe it?
true. You're not far from the English Riviera, are you?
No, yeah,
Down
yeah,
that neck of the woods, look. You see, you
yeah,
should be basking in this lovely weather.
palm trees and all sorts.
No.
So
Anyway,
listen, well,
enough
here we
about
go
weather.
into February, Valentine's Day in a few
Yeah,
days' time,
middle of Feb.
on
Middle of
Sunday.
Feb.
So
Have you sent my card to me, mate? Is it in the post?
well, I can't tell you that because you'll know who it is.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so yeah, so yeah, so today's we thought we'd have a warble today about quintessentially loving your customers, as that's kind
Oh,
of the
so
theme.
what's love got to do with it, eh?
Have got to do with it, indeed, indeed, indeed. So, what do you think about loving your customers, then, Richard?
Well, I think it's an underrated thing. Actually, we were talking about this a little bit earlier before we came onto this live air thing, and it's been an interesting time, obviously, since the pandemic and all of that. And there was a lot of focus on loving your customers, checking in with them, and making sure they're okay, which was nice. But actually, I think there's been a slight change in terms of businesses, and now they sort of can see that schools might be going back relatively soon. They can see there's a chink of light out there moving towards that. However, does that mean that they're focusing back on processes and not considering the customers too much, and perhaps missing out the love piece, and just foregoing that little bit more focus on the customers at the moment? The question to all our listeners and viewers out is, when was the last time you sought feedback? When was the last time you asked for the thoughts from some of your key customers out there? What is really going through their minds? Because, with Valentine's Day rocking up soon, you might be finding that some of your customers might be looking for a divorce if you're not careful. So, you've got to keep an eye on them.
It's a great point. It's a great point. I was chatting to a client last week who we did some client retention interviews for, and one of their clients dropped a bit of a bombshell on them and said that they were going to work with another provider of this firm's particular services that they've got from them. And they've been clients of them for over 5 years and spent an inordinate amount of money with them, but they kind of taken the relationship a little bit for granted. They hadn't reached out particularly well during COVID. Their words, not ours. And this I guess we're using the love word a bit glibly, but the reality is to your point, Rach, if you do really understand your customers and you are looking after them and loving them and understand what they're about, the spending time and energy and money on retaining the customers you've got is a darn sight cheaper than trying to attract new ones, particularly in an environment at the moment where attracting new customers is even more difficult. The other thing I think is quite interesting is we talked about this last year when we came out of the first lockdown, and we talked about and obviously businesses are much more used to coming in and out of lockdown. It's a bit like the hokey cokey, isn't it? Whatever number one now, number three. So, but the reality is this time is I think customers are, and we touched on this last week, customers are not putting up with poor service now just because I was on the phone to the local water company this morning, and the first thing they said was our calls are taking longer than usual. Our people are working from home, so you may hear things like dogs bark. We know that. This has been going on for 12 months. Change the record. Yeah, it's not acceptable. Have you got the same amount of people answering these calls? Because if you did, it wouldn't really matter if they were at home, at the North Pole, in the middle of central London, or frankly, down in Penzance. It doesn't matter. Customers want the answers quickly. They accept that they're working from home. So create the environment which you create good customer experience. Don't just expect your customers to go, oh, well, it's fine.
It's
They're
okay then.
working from
Yeah,
home. Yeah, we've
yeah,
had enough of that now. This has been
yeah,
going on for 12 months.
yeah,
So, you know, wake up businesses. It's the time, particularly some of the bigger businesses. And you know, the local water firm isn't the only one. Banks are the same. Travel companies are the same. You know, anywhere where there's a call center now, everybody's working from home. They're making an excuse about the fact people are at home. We know that. Move on. It's old
yeah.
news.
I mean, the key thing is, and we spoke to Andy Mill, the tech man, well, before Christmas, I think it was, about, you know, what's available. There's loads of tech available out there now in terms of cloud telephony, and all of the, everything can be shifted onto it. You know, again, you know, it's brought everything a lot quicker. You know, the change has taken place very, very rapidly. However, you know, it is going to continue to happen very rapidly. You know, things aren't going to stay the same. We've got high streets which have been changing for a long time, and it's been a bit slower. Now it's just gone at 100 miles an hour, even quicker. So what's going to happen? What's going to change? What's going to be the disruptive next move in terms of customer experience? So I think you're absolutely right. You obviously got out of bed this morning the wrong way, because you know, a little bit feisty, but you know.
But to that point there, Rich, you know, businesses now are talking about this model, aren't they, of working in the office, working at home, being flexible, which is great for the employee, right? So if you think about employee engagement levels, that's great, because when you work, that's going to go up, which is fantastic. So you've got a much better engaged workforce. But actually, if the process lets you down, and you're putting messages out like, you know, our employees are working from home, we know they're working from home. So, you know, who is going to your point, who's going to be the first business that stops that and just goes, here's the service, you know, we commit to answer the call in no more than, you know, 5 minutes, for example. You know, the amount of time, I'm sure you've heard it, you know, our calls are taking longer than usual. It can be up to 45 minutes. Why is it taking 45 minutes to answer a call? I don't understand. Anyway, rant over. You're not loving your customers, are you? You're not loving your customers.
Well, and I think the showing that love piece comes through from keep asking the questions, though, doesn't it? Keep finding out how things are. Are they happy with what's going on? You know, the immediacy of those. I was talking to a group of people earlier on this week about the immediacy of asking for feedback and the regularity. And we talk about this time and time again. You know, there's certain e-commerce, well-known e-commerce site, and they've got nice little boxes that sit in your room and speak to you. She's a lovely lady, but she asks for feedback on various products I buy every now and again. Do a pop-up. So you bought this the other day. How would you rate that out of 5 stars? Oh, I'll give it 3. Took me no time whatsoever to happen, to do, etc. And even on an email, it's not difficult. You know, nice smiley face, maybe a rating question. It's done. But if you're asking nice and regularly, people are going to give you feedback. And we know that they do, because we know that percentages are higher with the more regular feedback than a traditional end of year survey, don't we? So it does make a difference. And so I think keep asking. That's the thing. That's how you show your love. When you're talking to your loved ones, you're communicating with them, aren't you?
Are you? Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you're not shouting, where's my tea?
Where's my tea? Yeah. Or, yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
But to that point, it is important to ask, but it's also important to ask the right questions, isn't it? And it's important to write, you know, not just a, you know, sort of a glib, how are we doing? Because I think people do get kind of a bit of review fatigue, and they think, oh, you know, I'm you know, we're going to the motions here. So I think if you can make that experience one that is special for the person that's giving the feedback and why you're asking for the feedback, it makes such, you know, a huge difference. But the other thing that I've been thinking about this week, Rich, when we were talking about what we're going to chat and warble about today, was sometimes I don't think the good folk out there in CX land often know where to start, and you know, may not even understand what CX is. You know, is it customer service? Is it what is customer? What is the difference? So we've got a little tool that can help, that can really help you if you, and it's free, if you want some help with this. And we've got our, what we call our CX readiness checker, that the good fellow of the Knights in Salisbury have developed. So it's a brilliant tool to understand where you are on your journey with loving your customers. So you might be at risk, you might be really aware of what you need to do, you might be experiencing breakthrough on your customer experience journeys, and you might be really impactful. So it gives you the opportunity and gives you the confidence to understand where you are. So we're going to put in under wherever how you contact
down here along the bottom there. We'll put this
yeah.
the link, and we'll put it in the comments when we put this onto LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the key thing there is, and we have spoken about it previously, it's, you know, four zones of readiness. Where do you sit? Are you in the risk zone? Are you not, you know, are you blindly sort of moving forward without asking your customers questions, or you think you are? Oh yeah, no, we gained customer feedback. Yeah, last year in about March, we sent out a survey to 2 people. Do you remember? Yes, we did that. Yes, it was very good. Yeah, we got loads of feedback. We got 5 stars from both of them. Ooh, did you really? You know, it's statistics. There's lies, damn lies, and statistics. You know, you can, and this goes back to the whole review piece as well. You know, show that you're loving your customers, because then your customers would like to tell people how much you're loving them and giving them a great service by going onto review platforms and telling you about and telling everybody about it. Because if you do it well, they're prepared to shout about it. They are the promoters. They'll go and do that. But unless you know where you are in terms of these 4 readiness zones, it's difficult to your point, make a plan around it. You know, you might actually be doing some brilliant stuff out there, but not actually analyzing the data enough and actually then turning it into actions. So there's opportunity.
And we know, don't we, that 80% of businesses think they're delivering a great service. But only 8% of their customers actually believe that. So, you know, what the readiness checker does is it gives you an opportunity to start, and, you know, use the facility now, use the opportunity now, because, you know, we're going to be coming out of lockdown, fingers crossed, in the next 3 or 4 weeks, as the schools go back in early March, and then, you know, normal life will start to return. And, you know, we say this most weeks, don't we? If you have a plan, you will deliver. If you don't have a plan, it's really risky. So, you know, having a starting point from where you are to where you want to be, you know, you're going to be much more successful if you know what your customers want from you in the emergency. And I tell you one thing they won't, one thing they will want is for you not to have a message on your answering service saying, because our people are working at home, it's, you know, taking longer to answer your call, because there is no need, to your point, Rich, for that happening.
And I think the best thing with the customer experience readiness checker is that it, as Ryan said, it's free. You can just go onto the link. You answer 12 questions based on your perception. So self-perception. We're not telling you we're right and wrong. It just gives you some ideas to think about things. 12 questions, and then you can download the free PDF, which gives you a report in terms of where you sit and some ideas about what actions you can take as well. So there's some actions to take away from it. And of course, we'd love to chat with you as well once you've filled that in, just to you know, help you gain a bit more insight into what's going on there. Brilliant.
Well, I was been a bit of a ranty warble this week, wasn't it? But you know,
I know.
But, you know, it's cold, isn't it? It's February.
You know, February could do with Let's wrap. Right, we're going to wrap back up, and then next week hopefully we'll have somebody else to speak to. I think we might have somebody to think about how we present and how we put ourselves across in terms of technology and Zoom and stuff like that. Because that's really
excellent.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at that. Anyway, I've been Rich Knight.
I've been Ryan Huxtable. Have a great week.